Hello and welcome. We have put together a brief video to highlight some of the features of AvGuru's new weather site. AvGuru is a forum built for people with an interest in aviation to come and chat about flying and ask questions and share knowledge. In that vein, we took feedback from users about our first weather offering and built a more comprehensive site. It features an easy-to-navigate map-based interface that gathers and curates weather data from around the world and presents it in one convenient, simple-to-use space. Access to the site is free and only requires registration on the AvGuru site. So, without further ado, here is Amelia to guide you through our new weather portal.
When you get to the site, you will see a map. On the top right, you will see a map layer icon. Hovering over this icon will reveal the 3 map layers that are available: Map, Satellite, and Hybrid, Google. All the map layers are zoomable. The map layer is an OpenStreetMap, similar to what you would see in a car GPS. The satellite layer just shows surface data, and the hybrid is a combination image. You can zoom in using the mouse, or using the plus or minus icons on the top left of the screen. Below the map layer icon, you will see the Weather and Aviation Layers panel. This can be minimized by clicking the little up arrow to the right of the title, and opened again by clicking the down arrow. Aviation data. This has 2 layers, each can be added by selecting the checkbox. Open AIP. This put VORs, airspace and non-clickable airports and other AIP-type information on the map. It is best viewed on the map layer, and is only really visible from map zoom level 7 and up. The zoom level is shown in the little black information box on the bottom left corner. Once you select this, you will be provided an opacity slider that makes the overlay more or less prominent on the layer. Show airports. This is an important one. It will show all airports on the map that it has data for. If an area has a higher density of airports than can be comfortably displayed, you will see a colored button. This will have a number on it that tells you the number of airports it will display if pressed. The higher the concentration, the redder the button. Goes from green to yellow to red. Clicking on the button will zoom in and release more airports. Clicking on an airplane icon will open the airport information panel on the left. More on this later. There will also be a small pop-up that will tell you the name, city, and type of airport. The next section is Weather Overlays. This gives an overall idea of the weather in the area and is best viewed at a low zoom level. The Clouds overlay will show cloud cover. Sometimes, this is best viewed over the satellite base map layer. You can also increase or decrease the opacity of the maps to make them more or less prominent. The precipitation layer shows rainfall. The darker the purple, the more intense the rain. The SIGMET layer shows a graphical representation of all SIGMETs. The SIGMETs can be split into high level, flight level 180 and above, and low level, below flight level 180. Clicking on any SIGMET polygon on the map will bring up a data box that will show an overview of the SIGMET, the actual raw SIGMET data, the Wilbur analysis. Clicking anywhere outside of the box, or the X in the top right corner, will close the SIGMET display box. Additional weather overlays provide a high-level view of the weather. The next 4 layers are mutually exclusive, meaning you can show one of them at a time. Temperature, sea level pressure, wind speed. These all put a heat map overlay over the map. A scale at the bottom of the panel shows the values associated with the colors. These are great just to get an idea of what's going on, but not much use for planning. The wind animation layer provides a graphic representation of the wind flow at the current reported time, and predicted 6 hours into the future. You can select an altitude from the surface to flight level 440. The little blue information box will tell you the status of the wind data. Now let's assume we want to get the weather for an airport. There are 2 ways to do this. As mentioned earlier, you can click on an airplane icon from the airports layer, which will open the airport's information panel, or you can click the vertical blue bar on the left side of the screen. That will open the airports panel. Once the airports panel is open, it will either be populated with the airport information of the airport that you clicked, or you can search for an airport. The search functionality works identically to the functionality in the airport section of AvGuru. That is, if you type in an ICAO identifier into the top box, airport ID/ICAO ident, and click the blue Search Airport button. The airport data will be retrieved. This is always the dominant search, meaning that if you want to search via airport name, click the clear button and make sure that the field is empty. To search via an airport name, make sure the country you want to search is selected in the drop-down box, and then you can type the name into the airport name field. As you type, a list of airports matching will be displayed. Select the airport and the information that Our Airports has for that airports will be displayed. Note at the bottom of the panel there is a link to Our Airports in the external link section. This will take you to the Our Airports site, where you can join and update data about airports. This is a crowdsourced database, so the more feedback it gets, the better the data. Incidentally, in the same external links area, if the airport has a website, that link will be displayed there as well. Once you have an airport retrieved, you can click on the green Get Weather button, and the weather box will display in the middle of the screen. Note that when this box is open, no other features of the site are available. The weather box retrieves METR and TAF as before, with 3 differences. 1. If an airport does not have METR or TAF reporting, the app will get the weather from the closest reporting airport. It will display a warning telling you as much. 2. The infographic displays more information. 3. The Wilbur plain language uses a slightly better prompt. That's all there is to the weather. To close the box, select the X at the top right of the box. But wait, there's more. If you close the airport information panel, click the X at the top right of the panel. Below the plus or minus zoom icons, you will see an icon with a diagonal double-arrowed line on it. Click this, and the icon will turn magenta and the map will be turned into measure mode. This will turn the little hand on the map to a crosshair. Clicking and dragging the cursor across the screen will show a dotted line. When you release the left mouse button, the line will turn solid magenta, and the distance and true direction of the line will be shown. We don't have an easily accessible database of worldwide magnetic variation, so you will have to figure that out yourself. Remember to take the map out of measure mode when you are done, by clicking the magenta icon again. Should turn back to white. And there is even more. For those of you that don't fly as much anymore and want to know what the weather is going to be like at your local golf course or beach, simply zoom the map to wherever you want the weather. The hybrid base map is good for this. And right-click the mouse. This will show you the current weather and 3-day hourly forecast for that location. This is not aviation weather, but it will tell you if you are going to get wet on the way to the airport. That's it. We think it should give users an alternative source of weather information when local sources are down, and perhaps add some context and insight into the weather picture. Enjoy. And please provide any feedback.